Now we're on to problems 19, 20, and 21. Factor each expression completely. And we'll be looking at number 19 first. It says 3x squared y to the fourth minus 12xy to the third plus 3xy squared. And what is the very first step in factoring always? It's finding the GCF. Is there a greatest common factor there? Well, let's look. We have a 3, a 12, and a 3, which looks like, yep, there's a 3 goes into all of those. When we look at our x's, we have an x squared, we have a single x, and another single x, which means we'll pull out 1x. And if I go and look at my y's, I have a y to the fourth, a y to the third, and I have a y squared. So they all have at least a y squared. So there is our greatest common factor. So we will pull that out and we'll say, well, what's left over? Well, remember, we had 3 terms, so we're still going to have 3 terms here. You don't lose the number of terms when you do this. Well, 3x squared y squared, 3xy squared times what equals 3x squared y to the fourth? Well, that's just going to be an xy squared minus 3 times 4 is 12. X times 1 is x, and y squared times a y gives us y to the third. And then we have a plus, and then we'll do the last one. 3 times 1 is 3, and then x times 1 is x, and y squared times 1 is y squared. So at the very end of it, we have the 1, that's it. Okay, but you have to put that 1 in there, because if we wanted to distribute this back through, we would have to end up with the same answer that we started with. So that final answer, 3xy squared times the quantity of xy squared minus 4y plus 1. Some of you may want to take it here and then divide each of them by the GCF. That's totally fine to do if you want to do it that way. I got no problem with that. You do you, whatever works. Just don't forget to put the greatest common factor in the front when you're finished. All right, let's move on to number 20. Ooh, I like these ones. We have the quantity of a plus 3 to the third power minus 2 times the quantity of a plus 3 squared. Now, here's what I want you to think about. I know that some of you have asked me for help this week, and we looked at it just from an easier standpoint. We said, let's let u equal the quantity of a plus 3. So in this case, if I did that, this is like saying u to the third power minus 2 times u squared. If I asked you, what's the greatest common factor in that expression, you would tell me u squared. So we would go ahead and pull out that u squared, and we'd say, what's left over? Well, u squared times a u gives us u to the third minus a 2. All right, well, that makes sense. Well, let's put in the a plus 3. Let's put it back in. So this is really like saying a plus 3 squared times an a plus 3, or actually we'll put in, right, minus a 2. But all we need to do now is just take this expression here and simplify it. We've got a plus 3 squared times an a plus 3 minus 2 is going to be like an a plus 1. And that is our answer. Okay, you don't have to throw the u's in if you don't want to, but, you know, if it helps, go for it. Let's look at 21 now. 6x squared minus 11x plus 10. All right, so we've got a trinomial, and we're just factoring it into 2 binomials. If you're a guesser and checker, if you just like to set up the parentheses and do it, that's fine, go for it. I know that when there's an a in the front, sometimes it's actually a little bit faster to go ahead and just use the box and diamond, right? I'm going to do that here. So for the box and diamond, I know this isn't the easiest way, because I know the easiest way for a lot of you is just to take it and use photomath, right? But you're not always going to have photomath available to you, so might as well learn how to do this, right? Let's put the first term in down here, 6x squared. We'll put the negative 10 here. We multiply them and get negative 60x squared. That goes in the top. What goes in the bottom? It's the middle term, negative 11x. I need 2 numbers that multiply to give me negative 60, but then when I add them, I get negative 11. Okay, so when we think about that, let's see. Okay, how about negative 15x and positive 4x? If I multiply those, it gives me negative 60, and if I add them, I get negative 11. So I'll take those and I'll throw them in the boxes up here, negative 15x and 4x. Next thing, for those of you who don't remember this part, think about this. What's the greatest common factor in that first column? Well, 3 goes into 6 and it goes into 15, so we'll say 3. And x goes into x and x squared, so that's a 3x. So 3x times what gives me 6x squared? That would be a 2x. And 3x times what gives me negative 15x? That would be a negative 5. And then 2x times what gives me 4x? That would be a 2. So this will factor into 2x minus 5 times the quantity of 3x plus 2. Like I said, if you're good at the guess and check up here and you can just see it and do it, go ahead and do that. That's no problem. Otherwise, I would use the box and diamond because I think that's going to help you get it right. Don't be too proud for the box and the diamond. All right, so that was 19, 20, and 21. I'm almost out of battery, so I'm just trying to, get through this. Reach out to me if you have questions.